Imposter syndrome and how I actually learned, when I learned to overcome imposter syndrome, it actually allowed me to generate my first $10,000 training day. And that was my very first training day. So it was all about learning how to overcome this enormous weight on my mind and on my shoulders called imposter syndrome. So what is imposter syndrome? When I first started my business, I came out of corporate America. I had never done any coaching. I had never done any training. I had a lot of business experience, but I had all this experience and knowledge under the umbrella of the corporate name, of the corporate title. And there I was in my new business, really wanting to be successful, to make a difference with many, many, many professionals and executives. And I had a lot of information and a lot of drive, but I didn't have a lot of evidence, right? And this imposter syndrome, which was really feeling like you're a fraud, feeling like you're not really who you say you are, and really putting yourself out there before you have this hardcore evidence was really weighing on me. So I knew I needed assistance with this. No matter how much experience I had in the corporate world, I needed not so much experience in the training world as I did how to get out of my own limited thinking. That was the obstacle. So very, very fortunately, I was very aware that I couldn't do this myself. And I sought out a mastermind group that I became part of, like-minded business owners, also women who were of the same caliber, of the same level of expertise, and sort of from the corporate world, but also now that they had experience in the business world on their own. And I was part of this community, and being part of a very determined, persistent, committed group of people working together, bonding together, brainstorming together, supporting each other, and sharing ideas and information with each other on a regular basis really helped me to break free of my fear about how I looked to people without my corporate label, right? So what happened was one of my very first clients in coaching was an executive herself, and she was working with me to help her in her career. She was having a lot of difficulty with a challenging boss, challenging corporate culture, and she was part of the retail development team of her company. And so every year, her division had a sales meeting, and she started to talk to me about how she was preparing for her sales presentation, and all of the retail managers would come in and would be they would be trained, they would be coached. And she started describing this, and she said this was an upcoming project. So using a lot of the support and the encouragement and the ideas for how to present myself and how to communicate differently with clients, I was able to incorporate this by asking my client questions about this project. And I asked her, this is the exact script I use, so you can use this too. She was talking about this sales meeting that was coming up, and I said, I'm curious, have you finalized your decision about who you're going to use for your trainer? And believe me, I had never said anything like that before, but I noticed how I was able to confidently ask the question, because then if she said no, I had an entree to start talking about how I might like to actually put my hat in the ring, which is exactly what happened. She goes, well, we were considering using our vendor from last time, but what do you have in mind? I said, well, I have a training program that I would like to, share with you. If you're open to it, are you open to considering new vendors? And she said, absolutely, prepare a presentation. We'd love to have you share it. And there I was, and the door was open, and I was all excited. I didn't have the training all prepared. I didn't have it all mapped out, but I knew, because I knew she had shared enough about her business. She had shared enough about her problems. I was absolutely certain that if I sat down and I mapped out 2 or 3 options, that they were definitely worth presenting to her company, and I would have a shot at it. And then when it finally also happened, she asked me also, well, how much do you charge? I was also prepared, because that mastermind group helped me to sort of template out and script out what I would say when they asked me about fees and prices. I said to her, well, it really does depend on what you choose. We have a few different packages. What did you actually pay for your last vendor? And she told me right out. And I said, well, we could do that. And that was it. Like, basically her last vendor charged her $10,000 for the day. And she said, great, come on in and present. And that was it. We landed the gig. I got the $10,000 a day gig. We presented, it was a hit. The owner of the company loved us. We got a great testimonial from them. But I'm sharing this with you because that was the very first conversation I had ever shared with a client about training. I didn't have all of the experience behind me as an official trainer. I knew I had the ability to make it happen because I knew I had the desire. I knew I had the understanding about her business, and I knew I had the relationship with her. And also I had the belief in myself. I was able to tap into that because of this mastermind group. Why do I share all of this with you? First of all, I want you to know that imposter syndrome is surmountable. And even though it's surmountable for one situation, it doesn't mean it's not going to crop up in another one. You have to constantly work on it. It's not once and done. And I'm continually working on that myself. And so does every successful business owner. And the second thing is, I want to share with you how important it is to be part of the right mastermind community that really allows you to stretch, not just a group of people who think just like you, or who have the same level of experience as you, or who thinks very basically. You want a group of people who are going to force you to stretch, to grow, to learn, and to bond, and to get deeper into your learning about yourself. Your own personal development and your own personal advancement is as important in a mastermind group as is the business growth that you're working on. So I share that with you from a place of really enjoying being able to share my own personal, my roadblocks, my hurdles, and what outcomes I was able to produce, because we're all in this journey together, right? It's always a learning journey. There's always more to go. There's always more sharpening of the saw to have. And I share this with you and really letting you know that imposter syndrome is surmountable. Once you get control of your thinking, it won't control you anymore. All right, my friends, have a great rest of the day. I'm Nancy Fox, the Business Fox. And if you like these posts, if you like the transition and transformation stories that I'm sharing every Tuesday, if you like these business tips, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate the growth of the channel and all of your feedback. Thanks so much, everybody. Oh, and by the way, one more thing I'm sharing with you. Please become part of our Bold Business Women Circle on Facebook. I'm posting the link for you underneath. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Nancy Fox, the Business Fox. Bye-bye.